show you how great I am.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I am the king of the world.
And I'm better now. I'm experienced now, professional. I've done something new for this fight. I done wrestled with an alligator. Fast. Last night I cut the light off in my bedroom. Hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was dark. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
I am the greatest.
G5 Jeff TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video, support your boy. Support good content at all times. All social media is in the description box, and please hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I drop that heat. Eleider Alvarez with the upset victory over Sergey the Crusher Kovalev on HBO, August 4th, 2018 in Atlantic City. And first and foremost, I want to apologize to everybody. I know I was supposed to go live, but had some family business I had to handle. And, oh man, I wish I was live. I wish I was live for this fight, man. I do apologize, man. I didn't even catch the fight live. I had to watch it when I got in the crib. But and it's crazy because I ended up not doing an official breakdown and prediction video for this fight, and the reason why is because I didn't do the proper homework on Eleider Alvarez. Of course, I know who he is as a fighter, you know, his attributes, strengths, weaknesses. But what I like to do is I like to watch certain fights when I do these breakdown and prediction videos that is going to be relevant to the person that he's fighting. And I didn't get a chance to do that. The only fight that I watched of Eleider Alvarez recently was the Jean Pascal fight, and that wasn't enough for me to actually sit and do an official breakdown and prediction video. But I know prior to the fight, I know that Eleider Alvarez had all the tools in the toolbox to give Kovalev trouble. Now, would I have picked Eleider Alvarez for the upset? I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I don't know how I would have picked that fight. You know, and that's me hindsight 2020. And I still wouldn't have known who I would have picked in that fight. Usually I just watch, I watch a couple fights, watch the film, do my homework, and, I kind of just let my eyes tell me what I think is going to happen. But it was a really good fight. Really, really good fight. Highly competitive fight. And let me get a few things out of the way. If HBO is so damn biased, man, like, HBO is so biased, like, it is unreal. Like, okay, we understand that HBO was in the business of promoting fighters. They're not even in the business of promoting fights anymore. They're in the business of promoting fighters. And HBO is practically done. All right? In the grand scheme of things. But just listening to those guys during the course of that fight is absolutely crazy. Like, it's absolutely crazy. If you didn't know anything about HBO, in the business side of HBO when it comes down to boxing, you could listen to them and tell that they are pro Kovalev. You could tell that they're pro Kovalev. Like, HBO's announcers make me, like, sick. Like, Lampley, Letterman, Roy Jones keep it a bean. Max keeps it a bean. But Lampley and Letterman, like, they make me want to watch a HBO fight with the sound off. Like, seriously, like, it's crazy how HBO just be on some true propaganda, and it's like they don't have to. Like, Showtime doesn't do that. Showtime doesn't do that at all. And I'm like, Lampley, is he a legend? Yes. Is he one of the voices of boxing? Yes. But is he biased as hell? Yes. And that's the reason why that trumps him being a legend and a voice of boxing, because he's always biased towards the HBO fighter. It's absolutely crazy. Like in boxing, we rather you keep it a bean, no matter what the affiliation is. Period. But getting past that, matter of fact, I'm not gonna get past that. Letterman too, his scorecards sucked. His scorecards always suck. Like my scorecard and his scorecard be different. It really be different. Like, and it's been like that with Letterman for a long time, and it's even getting to the point to where his daughter Julie Letterman is having bad scorecards, and she wasn't like that before. She was a pretty good judge, but over the past maybe year and a half, she been slipping big time. Now I'm okay. Now I'm off that. I'm off that. All right. Now let's get to the fight. This was a highly competitive fight, and congratulations to Eleider Alvarez, man. Anybody that doesn't know him, he's been the mandatory for Adonis Stevenson for about 4 years. You know what I'm saying? He's been the mandatory for Adonis Stevenson for the same amount of time it takes for you to get a bachelor's degree. You know what I'm saying? And Adonis Stevenson has been ducking, paying him off. And they both had the same manager. So that just goes to show you their manager knew what the deal was. He was going to protect the investment. Adonis Stevenson was the investment. Eleider Alvarez was that guy that was capable of beating Adonis Stevenson. And his manager, both of their managers was like, listen, I'm not going to sacrifice my top dog for Eleider Alvarez, man. I'm going to keep them apart. And ultimately it worked. So now they have two champions under the same manager, which is absolutely crazy. It's crazy. But anybody that never seen Alvarez fight, I think you can see why Adonis Stevenson was just paying the man off and giving him that good step aside money for all those years. Now, getting down to the fight, what was so impressive about Eleider Alvarez is going into the fight, fighting Sergey Kovalev. I'm like, you're going to go through a point in a fight where you're going to be in trouble. And the question is going to be, can you weather that storm and come back? And Eleider Alvarez weathered that storm. I think it was like in the 5th round. Weathered that storm. He was in big trouble, huge trouble. And he fought the storm, recovered, and came back. Very little people are going to come back from being in trouble with Sergey Kovalev. Very few. And Eleider Alvarez was able to do it. So not only did he beat Sergey Kovalev, not only did he beat him, but he showed Kovalev he could take his best shot and keep coming. And when you're dealing with a bully like Sergey Kovalev, that's the best thing you can do. So not only did he win the title, he showed his heart and his determination as a fighter on top of winning the title. Now, I got the HBO part out the way. I got the Eleider Alvarez part out of the way. But the majority of this video is going to be dedicated to my guy, Sergey the Crusher Kovalev. Oh, man. Listen. Sergey Kovalev. Now, I know for a fact that they got to have a rematch clause. Kathy Duva and HBO, they're not that arrogant to not have a rematch clause. So I fully expect a rematch, an immediate rematch. It'll probably be in the same place. Of course, Eleider Alvarez is going to get more money, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be an immediate rematch. And that's cool because it was a really, really good fight. Now, getting to Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev didn't fight bad in this fight. He didn't fight bad in this fight. But there's one thing that stood out, and then I'm going to go all the way in on the Sergey Kovalev fans out there. The old Kovalev gets any opponent in trouble, they're not making it out of the round. Sergey Kovalev had Eleider Alvarez done, and could not get him out of there. And whenever you have a guy in trouble, it's a crapshoot. It's either you turn up, you throw the whole kitchen sink at him, and you get him up out of there, or you turn up, you throw the kitchen sink at him, you can't get him out of there, and you punched yourself out. When Kovalev didn't get Eleider Alvarez up out of there, not only was he punched out, but mentally he was punched out. He knew he didn't get Eleider Alvarez out of there, and it didn't matter if he came back and won that fight or not. In the back of his mind, he knew, damn, I had this dude in trouble, and I couldn't get him up out of there. That, for somebody that's a bully like Kovalev, like that fucks with their mind. You understand what I'm saying? Fighting a bully it's a mental game. It's a mental game. And Eleider Alvarez getting out of that round, I'm like, he won the mental game at that point. And Sergey Kovalev got knocked down several times, ended up getting stopped on his knees. Ended up getting stopped on his motherfucking knees. Let me go ahead and say what I gotta say to these Sergey Kovalev fans. The delusional ones. The delusional Sergey Kovalev fans. Now, after Sergey Kovalev took the loss to Andre Ward in the first fight, I went to war with a lot of Sergey Kovalev fans that said Sergey Kovalev got robbed. And I said, to each his own. If you had Kovalev winning that first Andre Ward fight, cool. But as far as what I looked at, I was like, Andre Ward from round 6 to 12. I think the only round that Kovalev might have won was that 10th round. But from 6 to 12, he only won one round. And the second fight was when I really went to war with all of the Sergey Kovalev delusional fans. Oh, Ward was hitting him in the nuts. He should have been disqualified. Sergey Kovalev won both of those fights. He got robbed. Andre Ward ain't shit. This, that, and the third. The thing that's so funny about that is after Kovalev got knocked out by Andre Ward, and I know the Sergey Kovalev delusionals can't stand when I say that, so I'm going to say it one more time. When Sergey Kovalev got knocked out with body shots by Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev had 2 fights after that. And both of those fights were tune-up fights. And I said to people, I said, if Sergey Kovalev and his team, Kathy Duva Main Events, believed that he won both of those Andre Ward fights, they'd have just threw him up against the other Wolves at 175. Why is he fighting 2 tune-up fights after the Andre Ward fight if you honestly felt like he won both of those fights? Kovalev knew he lost both of those fights. Main Events knew he lost both of those fights. And I quoted all of my Sergey Kovalev videos after the Andre Ward second loss was basically Sergey Kovalev recovering from the Andre Ward curse. I think that might have been the first video I ever did on this channel. Can Sergey Kovalev recover from the Andre Ward curse? Actually, I think that is my first video on this channel ever. And that's real ironic. But after the Andre Ward losses, especially the second loss, that was the first time Sergey Kovalev was knocked out on his knees. The fight ended with him on his knees. Sergey Kovalev, he lost his soul after that fight. He lost his soul after that fight. Point blank period. He lost his soul after that fight. Physically, he was beaten. Mentally, he was defeated before the fight even started. With them bringing up, his drinking habits and lack of training, lack of dedication. Virgil Hunter talked about it. Andre Ward talked about it. Jay Prince talked about it. It even got to the point to where Kovalev even blamed John David Jackson. And I think this fight with Eleider Alvarez validates John David Jackson, because John David Jackson is a really good trainer. He's a really good trainer. And after those Kovalev fights, Kovalev said he had a problem with the trainer. It was the trainer's fault. And he went and got another trainer. Was the trainer the reason why he lost this Eleider Alvarez fight? Fuck no. The reason why Kovalev lost this fight is because when you're not doing things right outside of the ring, when mentally you're not back yet from the bully getting beaten by another bully and Andre Ward, this is what happens. It's him. It ain't the trainer. It ain't the promoter. It ain't the circumstances. It's him. He going into a fight, he like to drink and all that good shit. That shit comes back to get you when you at an older age. And the bottom line is, Kovalev, this fight went exactly how a lot of his fights go. He gets his guy in trouble, and the old Kovalev would have got Eleider Alvarez up out of there at that point. And the bottom line is, he didn't. And he came back and he got clipped. Bottom line. Sergey Kovalev will never be the same fighter. He will never be the same fighter. And he found every excuse in the book when he lost to Andre Ward. He said it was the trainer. He said he got hit in the nuts. What can he possibly say after this? Nothing. He can't say anything. All he can do is strap up his boots, hope that he has a rematch clause, and go face Eleider Alvarez again. But let me tell you this. If that rematch happens, it's going to be the same damn result. Eleider Alvarez is going to defeat Sergey the Crusher Kovalev again, because he has all of the physical tools to get it done. And the thing that's crazy, Eleider Alvarez did this and won this fight, and he didn't even go to the body like that. He didn't even take the Andre Ward blueprint. Eleider Alvarez beat Sergey Kovalev in his own way. He didn't even take the Andre Ward blueprint. So not only did you lose by KO, but you lost for the second time on your knees, as a man on your knees. Sergey the Crusher Kovalev, as y'all remember him, is done. Absolutely, positively done. And his career is going to end with Eleider Alvarez. There is no career after Eleider Alvarez, especially if it's a rematch. And I'm saying that G5 Jeff TV, and I don't back down from none of my statements, Sergey Kovalev is done. D-O-N-E. Exclamation point, exclamation point. Done. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Please share this video. Support your boy. Support good content at all times. I appreciate y'all. Peace.